But should there be, guys, we were talking earlier, what about an asterisk next to some of these numbers? Because, Troy, after all, these players are getting more of an opportunity to play in games, and also an opportunity in this one to play in a third-place game where not everyone is necessarily trying that hard. Yeah,
maybe it's a new rule, like a new record for the 48 teams World Cup.
Yeah.
Like maybe you put it...
Draw a line and start
like
again.
Yeah, but and obviously if they do it within a time frame of the other ones, but it just doesn't hold the same weight. But also at the same time, let's not diminish the fact that the players still actually have to score. Like, it's not their fault that there's a third place game. It's not. And if you're Jude Bellingham, for example, you can't, or Saka in this situation, he scored a hat-trick against France. If you said that just on its own, you'd be like, wow, he's had a great game. You can't make the other team play well. Do you get what I mean? So, like, we diminish little things of it, but it's ultimately, it is what it is. A bit like the NFL with the SAT record, there's more games now, isn't there? Still, the player hasn't changed the fixtures to benefit himself. He still has to be fit, still has to be available. So I want to give Mbappé his credit, but it does feel like it needs its own little new paragraph, shall we say, in the history book.
Witty, you're the stats guy, you're the commentator.
No, I mean, look, to me, the ones that happened in the third place game, I don't think they should count towards the overall records. I think when you're talking about a game that is played on a completely different level to the other 103 games of the World Cup, it bears absolutely no resemblance to the rest of the tournament. This was an all-star game, a friendly, whatever you want to call it. I think this third place match shouldn't, but in the overall, he still scored 20 goals in the World Cup in 3 tournaments. Even if you do say that this one has one more game, it went out in the semifinal. That's 7 World Cup games. He played 7 in the last one, and 6 or 7 in the one before that. So, in theory, I don't think it makes a massive difference for Mbappé. Messi, because he's gotten to now a 6th World Cup. He's playing in an 8th game that counts. But I don't think. To me, it's more the individual tournament ones. Like, for instance, Michael Olise is now the first player to deliver 7 assists in a single World Cup. That, for me, is one where in a single World Cup you are playing a game more. It's a different thing. Also, the thing with the 48 teams is a weaker level of opposition. So I think something like Mbappe's or Messi's, I don't think it makes a material difference that they're playing a game more in this tournament, other than you're playing against weaker opposition. But for the single tournament records, I wouldn't treat them the same.
It has been a feature of this World Cup, hasn't it? The battle for the Golden Boot. And actually, for me, that's something that I suppose I hadn't really thought about it before coming into the tournament, but that's been a storyline that we've been following all the way through.
It's also because all the stars have delivered.
Yeah, exactly.
All those great players have played well.
It's been an intriguing sort of link between all of these different
It adds to the narrative. You go back to the final in Qatar 4 years ago. It's Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappé going toe-to-toe, neck-to-neck. They were teammates at PSG, and it didn't end so well between them. Maybe a bit of jealousy, maybe a bit of one-upmanship. And PSG season went down the drain because of that World Cup final. You had teammates from a PSG standpoint on the French team and the Argentine team. But Kylian Mbappé is ridiculous. I want to remind everyone what the narrative was around him at the end of the season, the club season, that he was the problem at Real Madrid. And maybe he wasn't a good thing for French football as well. Yeah. At this World Cup, he definitely changed the narrative for me, Troy. Well, he's changed the narrative.
Not for me.
He's a difference maker. He's definitely a match winner. Yep. You see it with the French team. And I think Madrid fans are going to be excited to see this version of Kylian Mbappé at the club level this coming season.
What player have you ever played with that you thought is a top player that had to let you know they're going to try and run hard now? Which one? None. No top players ever had to come out before a tournament and say, I'm going to run around. You're going to see a different version of me. Did you see him running around?
Especially at his age. He's 27.
But did you see him running around?
I did today.
All he's done.
I did today. In the first
half?
Troy, in the first half, of all the players that were actually putting out effort, Michael Olise and Kylian Mbappé was trying to play at least to get goals.
Because that's for him. That's what he does. His stats will always be fantastic. His goals output, his assist output will be fantastic. But the reason he won't be, in my opinion, spoke in the same breath as a Zidane, as a Thierry Henry, is because it's about him. It's always about him. I think that's the frustration when I read the things and the papers about Real Madrid. That's where the frustration is. Not that you score goals, because you are fantastic. You score loads of goals. But it's an output for the team. He doesn't do that. And once he scored, then he starts running. Then he starts trying to... Once he's got his moment, that's not the side of a captain and a leader. So I agree with the principle of what you're saying, but you can't come out to a World Cup and say, watch, you're going to see me run around. That fundamentally is the minimum you have to do as a top player.
And the other thing, too, with Mbappe is, to your point, he won the Golden Boot in La Liga. He won the Golden Boot in the Champions League. He remained the top player, goal scorer in the Champions League despite going out in the quarterfinal to Bayern Munich, and is now. So there is no doubt about his ability to score goals. It's now about impacting winning. It's 2 seasons now where he has scored at an incredibly high level. He looks like the player that can score tons of goals. Real Madrid haven't won anything. France didn't win anything in this tournament. They lost the semifinal in 2024. So he has to be impacting winning more than accruing individual statistics.
Is he the only one to blame for that, though, Real Madrid?
No, but he's
the main man. He's the main man. He's the captain. He's the leader of these teams.
There's another guy for Real Madrid named Vinny Jr. that's involved as well.
Jude Bellingham as well.
By the way, Vinicius Jr. comes under the most scrutiny. Jude Bellingham comes under the most scrutiny.
Kylian Mbappé, the fans try to do a GoFundMe to get rid of Mbappe.
Exactly. Do you know why? Because they see it. That's the point. So he scores the goals. He does all of the things he does. And there's fans willing to, was it 8 million, I believe, signed a petition to get him out. Now, I don't agree with that stuff. But if 8 million people are saying you're not what the club is about, then you are allowed to look and go, hey, there's some validity to this. Because it's not our opinion. You could say 2 things can be right at the same time. You're a top player, you score fantastic goals, you've done all of this. But very simply and easily broken down, have PSG got better since he's left, yes or no?
Yeah.
So again...
And have Real Madrid gotten worse since he left?
I'm about to say, have Real Madrid not been as successful as a team since he's been there? Yes or no?
Well, OK, put it this way. Yeah. Do you think French football fans will look at Kylian Mbappe's World Cup as a success?
There's only one answer. It's an absolutely yes. He's the all-time leading goal scorer.
But this is a bit so.
He literally is the difference maker for France, alongside Michael Olise.
This is the perfect caveat to it. So he is the difference maker. I agree. He is their top goal scorer. I agree. He is talented. I agree. So when they lose, it's not his fault.
Kylian Mbappé.
But when they win, we give him all
the credit.
point
I'm making.
I disagree with when France lose. It's not Kylian Mbappe's full fault. It's not the. He's not the
part
only
of the
player
problem. Can we say he's part of the problem? They lost the game and he didn't score.
Against Spain, he didn't turn up. He had a bad game against Spain. How many other players had a bad game against Spain?
But this is the point. So you're actually missing the point. So when he plays bad, how many other players play bad? When he scores, so he was the only one who played good today.
No, there were other players, but
that's what I'm saying. But you can't praise him because he does well, and then when he does bad, go, what about everybody else? No, that's not what being a top player is.
I think you're missing the entire point of this World Cup and Kylian Mbappé. This is not Real Madrid. That's a separate conversation. With French football, it's not.
Okay.
With French football, you see a different Kylian Mbappé. Agree or disagree? World Cup winner. Led his team to a final, scored a hat-trick.
I would say, yeah.
Different
I would
Kylian
agree with
Mbappé.
you. I would agree.
There's only one answer in that, right?
I agree. But
Didier Deschamps is under something with Kylian Mbappé. And yes, I agree with you that he needs to bring that version of what we see with France to the club level.
Okay.
And there's intangibles.
That person's gone now.
There's intangibles that he definitely needs to show at the club level. But what he just did at this World Cup, can we not take a second and say, this was incredible?
No one's disagreeing, but he's got, 10 goals? 10 goals. So yeah. I would look at it from an England point of view. Let me take it away from an England point of view. I wouldn't turn around and go, wow, Saka was unbelievable this tournament. He got a hat-trick. Do you remember that game he got a hat-trick? You can't.
Do you remember the last, you know the last player in the World Cup that got 10 goals in a single World Cup?
No.
Gerd Müller.
So what?
It hasn't been done. What we just see him do hasn't been done for decades.
Okay, but it's also in a game that we've just said was a shambles. There was also a Harlem Globetrotters game that you said. So you can't have it both ways. He was on the pitch, right, when they lost 4-0 in the first half. He was on the pitch. Yes or no?
And who were the players?
You mentioned at halftime everybody but him. Everybody but him.
I said halftime. Malo Gusto, Rabiot,
Konate.
Doué, Konate.
Yeah. So you mentioned everyone bar him. So when they're bad, we don't bring him up. When they're good, look how great he is.
I mean, I think the context in France is certainly not reflective. I think more backs up what I completely understand what you're saying, Troy, but I also think it does speak to the way that Lahoud is talking about it. I don't think in France they're pointing at Mbappé and saying he's the issue. I think they appreciate his contribution.
I just said that, but I'm saying when you start to talk about his greatness, you have to talk about the flaws. That's what our job is to do. You can't be same way I did it with England, same way you do it with everybody. You can't say he's great, he's great, he's great. Oh, but he said he's going to run around, and in this tournament I haven't seen him run around. He said it, not me. And then you go, no, but he scored the goals. Okay, but what did he say? Hold him to the standard that he said. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a debate that's going to run and run, obviously, for French fans in the aftermath of the World Cup as well.